Hello, hello. It's about that time, starting in a minute and a half. Okay, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, beautiful people. Glad to have you here. All right, guys, here's what's happening today. We're doing a 1 hour stream and we're just focusing on attributes. This is actually like from the boot camp journey here of Free Code Camp. It's the very first part of HTML. So we're going backwards a little bit, just to kind of rediscuss or go over some of the basics of HTML, and we'll move on from there. All right, let's get to it. So I'm just going to be reading aloud and just going with the interactive editor. If there's any questions at all, just feel free to ask. All right, here we go. What are attributes and how do they work? An attribute is a value that is placed inside the opening tag of an HTML element. Attributes provide additional information about the element or specify how the element should behave. Here is the basic syntax for an attribute. Now remember, guys, it was our last stream. We had just talked about that syntax in programming basically means like grammar structure in real life languages. So, some basic syntax for that. All right, so we've got, like the element attribute equals value. All right, I think the closing tag, of course. So the attribute name is followed by an equal sign and a value in quotes. The value can be a string or a number depending on the attribute. The first example uses the href and target attributes. Href attribute specifies the URL of a link, and the target attribute specifies where to open that link. So, for example, the A element, also known as the anchor element, is used to create hyperlinks. The text between the opening and closing tags is the clickable part users select to navigate. Enable the interactive editor and change this href, and we see here with this value, and we're changing it to basically the same thing, but we're taking off the news page. Now, when you click on the link in the interactive editor, you will see the free CodeCamp homepage in a new browser tab. So, for example, here's our code, here's the website. If I click on this, it should take us to the news page of Free Code Camp. But we don't want the news page, we just want it to take us to Free Code Camp. So we're in our editor and we're just going to remove news. Make sure you keep the quotation marks. When it comes to coding, every single symbol is really sensitive, and if you forget one, the whole thing could collapse. So always important for that. Let's just check out what else is going on here. So end of anchor tag, target is blank. I think that when you put underscore blank like this, it makes it open into a new tab. And then the href, the link. All right, so let's try it again. Wait, what? It says this website cannot be reached. Oh, come on now. Let's try a good old refresh. We'll take off that backslash. All right, so now it just says the website. Let's click on it. And there we go. See, now this time we clicked on the link and we're at freecodecamp.org. All right, very good. So moving forward then. Without the href attribute, the link would not work because there would be no destination for this URL, no place for it to land. So you must include this href attribute to make the link functional. The target equals underscore blank value enables the link to open in a new browser tab. Aha, I was correct. So yes, when you see underscore blank in this kind of context, it means open a new tab. And yeah, if you didn't know that, there is another one for opening in a new window. So every time you are on the internet and you click on a link, and maybe it opens a new window or opens a new tab, however, or opens on top of the page you're currently on, there is code for that. There is behavior written that makes it do that. So we're going to learn more about the target attribute in future lessons. Other common attributes are the source and the alt or alternative attributes, which are used to specify the source of an image and provide alternative descriptive text for the image respectively. Enable the interactive editor and change this source to this source. Looks like we're changing it just from cats JPEG to running cats JPEG. And give me just a moment here. Okay, we're back. All right, so we're just changing between the two links. I can already see that we're just changing it from regular cats JPEG, which is this right here, and going to running cats JPEG. JPEG's an image. Then change the alt of this from two tabby kittens sleeping together on a couch to two cats running in the dirt. All right, makes sense. So let's just go ahead and manually add running on that HTML. So we know that that is the difference here. There we go. Look at that. Oh, they're so cute. And we're changing the alternative text to two cats running in the dirt. There they are. Similar to the href attribute, the source attribute is required because it specifies the image file to be displayed. The alt attribute is not required, but it is recommended for accessibility purposes. So yeah, basically one example of using your alt text and the greater meaning of using your alt text is for people who browse the internet who are blind. They have special browsers that literally read only those kind of tags. So when they go to a website, it'll tell them like the homepage is starting with an image of two cats running in the dirt. So yeah, when it talks about accessibility purposes, we're really talking about like handicaps and making things better for people, everyone to view and access a website. Okay. Accessibility means making sure that everyone, including those with disabilities, I feel so silly. I just explained what they were explaining. Can use and understand things like websites, apps, and physical spaces. You will learn more about the accessibility in the upcoming lessons. Some attributes are a little unique with their syntax, like the checked attribute. Enable the interactive editor and try clicking on the checkbox in the preview window to see it alternate between a checked and unchecked state. Interesting. Input type checkbox checked. So if I delete checked, does that mean it's going to be blank? But I can still check it, right? Okay, so really it just makes it checked automatically. Wow. What if I remove that blank? Still good? How about that one? Still good? Okay, okay. It's important to play. Always play with your code, see what it can do, especially when you have these kind of interactive editors. So you're not doing anything live. In the following example, we have an input element with the type attribute set to checkbox. Inputs are used to collect data from users, and the type attribute specifies the type of input. In this case, this input is a checkbox. You will learn more about how inputs work in upcoming lessons. The checked attribute is used to specify that the checkbox should be checked by default. The checked attribute does not require a value. If it is present, the checkbox will be checked by default. If the attribute is not present, the checkbox will be unchecked. This is known as a Boolean attribute. You will learn more about Booleans in general when you get to the JavaScript section. Let's read this again. Let me read this to myself real quick. Interesting. So I want to test out some stuff on the interactive editor here. So basically what it's saying is that just by having the value here checked, it's going to make this checked by default no matter what. What it could also mean is that what it's also saying is that there's no reason to add value. Now, if we were to add value just to show what that kind of looks like, we could add yes. I mean, it's not changing anything on the interactive. No. How about none? How about null? Get some German in there. All right, none of those are changing anything. So, but if we take off the letter D, oh, look at that. It's already unchecked. Okay, well, good to know. Enable the interactive editor and try removing the checked attribute from the input. You will see that the checkbox is no longer checked by default. Goodbye. Awesome. Coffee break. All right, let's get to the next part. Okay. There are several common Boolean attributes that you will encounter in HTML, such as disabled, read-only, and required. These attributes are used to specify the state of an element, such as whether it is disabled, read-only, or required. Here's an example of text input element that is disabled by default. Enable the interactive editor and try clicking on the input element in the preview window. Now remove the disabled attribute from the input element and you will see the input is no longer disabled by default. You should now be able to click on it and type inside the field. All right, so basically look, here's the website. What is this block? It's doing nothing. But if we remove disabled, suddenly we can write. Always be coding. ABC. Always be coding. All right. HTML has many attributes that could be used to customize the behavior and appearance of elements on a web page. Understanding how to use attributes is essential for creating interactive and accessible web content. Over the next few lessons, you will learn more about HTML attributes and how to use them effectively in your web development projects. All right, guys, that is attributes. Understanding HTML attributes. Done. The last thing is we're going to look at some multiple choice questions together and then go from there. All right, which of the following is an example of a Boolean attribute? We've got source, href, disabled, and alt. So remember, what is a Boolean attribute? A Boolean attribute is an attribute that just needs to exist and does not require any value. So there's no true, false, or 100%, 50%, nothing like that. It is just existing. So which one of these does that? Well, we know that source and href both need some type of value with URLs, right? Alt is going to have a value of text because of what it's describing, the alternative text. So that leaves us with disabled. Woo! Yes, did you say it? Give you the Dora Explorer experience. Disabled is a Boolean attribute. There's never equals true, equals false, nothing like that. No values following this. If it's there, it's disabled. If it's not, then it's not disabled. What is the role of an attribute in HTML? Attributes provide additional information to help define the behavior of HTML elements. Attributes change the background color of an element. Attributes change the font size of an element. And attributes add JavaScript functionality to an element. Well, let me tell you, all three of these are correct. But this is everything summarized. By defining the behavior of HTML elements, you are changing the background, you're changing the sizes. So yeah, that has to be the answer. Which of the following is the correct syntax for a Boolean attribute? Okay. All right, so remember, Boolean attributes do not have values. So we know that checked from earlier is a Boolean attribute. And see, look, on, that's a value, equals off, that's a value, equals is checked, that's a value. None of those are correct. So what we really need is the first one. Just checked. Having that word exist just as the word check is going to make it an active feature. Let's double check. Woo! All right. Now, what I am going to do is I'm just going to show you guys, or let's see what's next. Theory. We just did a theory. Okay, we got some time. Let's debug a pet adoption change. Dan the King. Nice. Cool. Good to have you, Dan the King. And yeah, it's definitely kind of old school, but we definitely we're starting from the beginning here. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, I'm glad to hear it. Easy, is good for a good thing. For depends on who you are. For some of my older friends and family members, it's like Greek. But being a young man like yourself, I'm sure that you have. I have a lot of textbooks. That's really nice, though. Thank you for offering. But very cool that you're from India. Yeah, yeah. I understand. I was doing HTML in class. Honestly, I think my second year of high school also. I know it was in high school and not my senior year, but yeah, we did. It was called web apps, web applications, and very basic HTML. So, to be honest with you, since it's your first time here, I'll go ahead and tell you none of this is new for me. I'm really just reviewing all of this and creating a place where people can hang out and maybe learn something at the same time. I'm pretty familiar with everything we're going over here. But yeah, let's debug a pet adoption page and feel free to hang out, Dan. Nice to have you. I wonder what part of India you're from. I have several friends from there. I'm in an institution. I don't have a computer anymore. I'm studying cost management accountant. I don't study HTML anymore. Ah, okay. So when you say institution, do you mean like university or college? And okay, South India. That's cool. That's really cool. Well, it's nice to have you. Very, very nice background info too. That's cool. It's different from college and uni. It's like coaching. Oh, okay, okay. Hey, that's awesome. That's really cool. Well, from the south of the USA, I'd like to say greetings to the south of India. All right, well, we'll slowly get in here. So we are debugging now, guys. We are doing a debug of a pet adoption page. It says Sally, a pet adoption store owner, has built her first web page, but there are some issues. Your job is to fix all the errors so Sally can continue building her page. So fulfill the user stories below and get all the tests to pass the complete lab. Um, I can share you my textbook if you want. It's a government site. That's really nice. Like I said, I do have my own textbook material, but if you just want to share from the kindness of your heart, why not? If it's something that costs money, I most likely will not engage. But yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Good to have you, Dan the King. All right. I don't know if there's a way you could. It's free in Google. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yeah, drop a link. Drop a link if you'd like. I will definitely check it out. Okay. Sally wants to use an image of some cats, but it's not displaying correctly. You will need to fix the following in the image element. Replace the href attribute with the correct attribute for the image source. Replace the correct attribute representing short script text or images. Just closing tag. Don't have closing tags. Okay. Well, my first question is, what am I changing the href to? But okay. It says change it to the correct attribute. Where is the correct attribute? Cool. Thanks, friend. I'll go ahead and open this up on another window here. And again, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you, Dan the King. Really appreciate it. I am looking. Yeah, this is it's a computer apps textbook, just like I was talking about when I was in school. It was computer apps. Very cool. Thank you so much. And I hope that I will look through this. It's from what I saw. It's all in English, and I will definitely look through this. And maybe having this link here might help someone else too. So that's very kind of you. Thanks for sharing. Okay. All right. So looks like first we're just changing that to source. Two tabby kittens sleeping together on the couch. ATT, I think it means ALT. Oh, okay. That's the correction. ALT. All right. Image element. Oh, that's awesome, Dan. Thanks. So Dan says he studied HTML, JavaScript, SQL. And that's awesome. Actually, this page that we're working with, it also does that too. I'm trying to get through HTML as fast as I can because I really am trying to jump into JavaScript, but and style sheets. But yeah, step by step, step by step. All right, so image doesn't end in a. There's no ending tag for that because it is a. Um, it doesn't need a closing tag. It's a void element. Your A element with the text visit cats page needs to have an href attribute. Okay, let's go ahead and check from there. Woohoo! Oh, that's it. Wow, that was really easy. Okay, so let's jump back to that because I want you guys to see what kind of problems were involved with this debugging page. Um, we can see that from what we changed, we only needed to change like parts of the elements and their attributes. So just misspellings can cause problems as well. Like, what did we? Oh, it looks like they bring it back for us too. So ATT is not an existing value, so it's ALT. Okay, hang on one second. Oh, okay. Um, Dan the King says, I felt JavaScript hard. JavaScript was hard. SQL is easy. In practical, I got in practice maybe I got HTML, so it was easy in practical. It's a common. I think you mean in practice. It's a choice between SQL and SQL. Practical. Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. It's an exam. Gotcha. Okay. So it's a choice between SQL and SQL. I got HTML. It was easy. Um, Practical is a type of exam. Okay. Hey, that's really cool to know. And thanks for hanging out. It was nice meeting fellow people who know about programming and coding. Always good to have like minds here. So, anyways, guys, all I was saying is that all of these were problems with how the elements were written and the attributes that were used. Image didn't need an ending tag. Um, and then also, these aren't sources. They're not like URL links. They're hrefs. And then same with the opposite earlier. We changed that to an href. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, yeah. So sometimes this is literally what you have to do. Just and nothing else. Just very simple things, little small problems. But that's the fun thing about HTML and coding in general is it's like solving puzzles all the time. You're always solving puzzles. I don't have to study that anymore. I am only working as a profession. Maybe you mean professional. So, but yeah, that's cool, man. I understand. Hey, more power to you that you don't have to study anymore. Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. Very nice. Glad to have you here, Dan the King. All right. So, now that we know that this is all good, I changed that already. Oh, I said it backwards. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, SRC sources need a source code. What? I thought I did that. href. There we go. So, anyways, okay. HTML is used for making sites, right? Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, yeah, I knew which right you meant. Like, correct? And yes, you're right. You're right. HTML is the basic foundation of what it takes for web development. Web development is essentially making websites, making them work, making them responsive, making them accessible. Um, so yeah, you're exactly right. When will you use image source like pictures? Probably in the future. It looks like our next task is another theory, a workshop here, building a bookstore page. Not today, but the next time when we get into building a bookstore page, I can probably predict there would be some source images or something like that. All right, so we're chatting a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the chatting page. There we go. But yeah, yeah. To be honest, I don't. I'll open the theory here. I just don't think I have enough time to do this. I got to go like within 20 minutes. But let's find out. Okay, so we got three multiple choice and a little. Okay, okay. We'll do this. All right, guys, this will probably most likely be the very last thing we do. So it says, what is the role of the link elements in HTML and how can it be used to link to external style sheets? Let's learn about the link element and how to use it to link external style sheets. The link element is used to link to external resources like style sheets and site icons. Here is the basic syntax for using the link element for an external CSS file. CSS file is a style sheet. If you don't know that already, it's a style sheet. All right, so here's the idea for that. Link, okay, what is it? It's a style sheet, and then the href dot slash styles dot css. Okay. The rel attribute is used to specify the relationship between the linked resource and the HTML document. In this situation, we need to specify that this linked resource is a style sheet. It is considered best practice to separate your HTML and CSS in different files. Developers will use the link element for their external CSS file instead of writing everything in the HTML document. And let me finish this real quick and I'll reply to you, Dan. The href attribute is used to specify the location of the URL for the external resource. The period followed by a forward slash in the example tells the computer to look in the current folder or directory for the styles.css file. The link element should be placed inside the head element as seen in the following example. All right. And Dan's saying, by the way, are you teaching HTML? I studied CSS and responsive web page. Are you learning for exam? Can you see my textbook? I want to whether it is good. It is a 2015 textbook. Okay. Well, Dan the King, the only thing I looked at was the table of contents of the textbook you sent, and also to verify that it is in English. And from that quick look, I could see that yes, it's in English, and yes, it is about HTML, JavaScript, and SQL as well. Now, as far as is the information relevant or not to today's standards, technology is constantly changing all the time. So it's really kind of hard to answer that question. Uh, I'm not a professional teacher, but I am for HTML, but I am actually a teacher. Outside of my streaming online, I teach language, most English, of course. So I am an English teacher. I work with many people all around the world. I have even worked with several students from India. And so, yeah, I like coding and web page development. Okay. Can you look at the contents now? Okay, okay. But yeah, I have always enjoyed teaching in general, so um, I'm happy to be a part of it or to teach it as well. I enjoy doing this as a hobby, and so I also enjoy helping people out. Yeah, like mentor. Yeah, you could say that because I'm not getting paid for streaming material to learn, but I do want people to be able to learn in a free way. I think that there's so much online education that's available for us. Okay. All right. So, Dan the King, keeping in mind that I am not a professional web developer, uh, I am looking at your textbook, and let me just confirm that there's nothing that's going to jump out on me. All right. I'll put it on the main screen too. This is the textbook that Dan the King is talking about. So as we can see, it is in English. Published year is 2015. Here is the oh wait, no, that table of contents is here. Basics of C++, control statements, nested loops, and jump statements. Well, I know that nested loops is very important too, so that's awesome that it's covered. Functions, array init, array observations, string handling using arrays. Wow. Web technology, web designing, 4.3 static scripts. Cascading style sheets, CSS. That's what we were just seeing about. I want to jump down to web technology. That's page 81. Wow, this is like a very in-depth word for word description of what you're learning here. Two chapters is HTML. Okay, cool, cool. I like this. Okay. So basically, from what I'm seeing so far, this isn't just teaching you the method, but this is also going over the history of HTML and web development. This is really cool because for anyone who's ever been on like 100 Devs boot camp, that's pretty much how he starts the boot camp. Is he says the first thing to know is what is the internet and how does the internet work? And it looks like that, we're getting some really basic descriptions here of a lot of things that are going on in the background, such as DNS servers and internet protocols and how they communicate with each other in order to communicate in the web computers. Yeah. So In theory, again, in theory, this should be totally fine. This should be a really nice, um, a very nice thing to refer to if anyone ever wanted to know the history of, what's going on here in HTML. Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool, Dan the King. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, this is very in depth. This goes through all the networking side. Very cool. So I'm just teaching and going over like how to create and write code of basic HTML, but this is going into really in-depth detail of not only how you can create an HTML page, but how you can host it and how you can have it on a private domain and how you can secure it. There's code in the next chapter. Yeah, okay, cool, cool. Let's check it out. Yeah, even like talking about server racks and very cool. Okay, so see this right here, I already know is going to be a little different compared to 2015. Um, you know, root servers around the globe where there are, major data centers and things like that. That's definitely different today compared to 2015. But I think that learning the concept of this and understanding why it happens is great. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. I can't really say that any of this would be bad to learn. It's not like it doesn't exist anymore. All of this is exactly what exists. It's a long chapter. Ah, okay. Some elements. Now we're getting into some coding. Here's an element. Body. Opening tag, closing tag. It's literally giving you like the step-by-step instructions here. Wow. Look at this old VS Code. Is that VS Code? It might be something totally different. Oh, I can also see that they're using Ubuntu. So whoever made this is using a Linux. It's a Linux operating system. Gianni. Okay. Oh, interesting. I'm going to write that down too, actually. Gianni. Tell me this, Dan the King, have you ever used VS Code before? Have you ever used VS Code before? Ah, okay. No worries. I was just wondering if you have, what are the pros and cons? Uh, but yeah, I see, I got Gianni right here. Fast and small. Nice. Yep. When you're doing like real, I only use Gianni. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna write in the chat for you, buddy. Check out, or actually, I'll just open it. VS Code. Check out Visual Studio Code sometime. One reason why I really like Visual Studio Code is that it has a lot of AI features that make things a lot easier. And yeah, you never know, you might like it better. That's really good that it shows errors. It shows errors as well. That's important. So it's like a VS Code that can highlight and show like this is what's messing up your code. That's super cool. So yeah, again, I'll tell you that I think that this textbook looks very much like what I'm teaching, what I'm talking about. I like that image. It almost looks like the default Windows wallpaper. All right. Well, very cool, my friend. Thank you for sharing. So again, I want to get that pinned if I can. Let me see here. the link to this free textbook that Dan the King has provided for us, being quite the king himself. And let me see here. I want to get that pinned. And then here in just a minute, I'm going to be logging out. I think that, unfortunately, before my work, this is all that I could do for today. I just want to figure out how to pin your chat, but I haven't figured it out yet. There we go. Got it. There we go. All right, now Dan the King's message is pinned and will be a part of that. And also, if you didn't know, Dan, I'm streaming on YouTube as well, and I'm going to make sure to put the that textbook code in the in there as well. Let's see here for the YouTube community. Cool. Yeah, look at the color code. Okay. When you say Dan the King, when you say color code, do you mean like the hex numbers that we see here? Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing that's interesting about this type of programming development is that there are definitely several different there's definitely several different ways to refer to a color when it comes to web development. Yes, you could refer to the hex code, but you can also just write the names. Like you could say you have to specify that with the value. Like okay, so if you're going to say like color name, you just say red. But if you do want very specific color shades with a hex number, you could just copy it right into that. So thanks again, Dan the King. Really cool source and textbook that you provided for everyone on this stream and for everyone who will see it in the future, both on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah. Unfortunately, like I said, I've got some things I got to take care of. I have some work that I'm starting in 20 minutes. But I'll just leave the stream up for a moment, though. And if there's anything that you guys want to talk about or have any questions for me, please just let me know. Definitely a lot of cool sources and things that we've gotten today. One thing I can mention before I go is I will share a boot camp that I'm a very big fan of. 100 devs. 100 devs right here. With Mr. Leon Noel. Incredible and very smart teacher. He's really good. Did you study SQL? Hey Dan, great question. No, I actually haven't. So as far as where I'm at with this specific course goes, HTML is very easy for me, and I really feel confident with HTML. I want to get better with style sheets, of course, because this is important. And I would like to get more involved with JavaScript. I know a little bit of how JavaScript works, but I have not looked into SQL. There's SQL in the textbook also. Okay, cool, man. Thanks. That's awesome and good to know. I wanted to find for you guys the official page here. Let me see if I can find. It's probably 100devs.org. Oh, maybe not. Do they have another page of people who are? Oh, I guess this is it. Yeah, this is it. They just changed their website. Cool. So, anyways, 100 Devs, guys. This is a really great organization for learning, and they do a lot of free classes and things like that. So, I definitely plan on going over some of Leon's material in the future as well. Oh, there's JavaScript in the textbook too? Good to know, my friend. Thank you, thank you. Let's go ahead and pull that back up, actually. Are you a faculty there? No, no, no. I don't work with 100 devs. I would love to, but no, I'm just a student. Just a lurker. Oh, I never saw the pledge. That's interesting. Ah, yeah. Ooh, page 173. Oh, no kidding. That's awesome. Even the fundamentals of like getting started with HTML. That's really cool. Join there as a faculty? Oh my gosh. That would be so cool. Thank you for the idea. Maybe one day I would love to be I would feel very honored to be working alongside with um Leon and any of the people that work with him. It's definitely not just him. There's a whole team of people that make that Discord server run very well. All right, here's the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Eek, the creator of JavaScript. Wow, I didn't know that. In the early days, only Netscape browsers supported JavaScript. That is really cool. That is such a throwback for me. I remember the Netscape browser as like a kid, preteen. I remember it had the big letter N, and it was the greatest thing to ever destroy Internet Explorer. Real big upgrade with the cyberspace. All right. Well, guys, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up there. And I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of their Wednesday evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to the next stream. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Goodbye. Signing off. Bye. I hope to see you again, Dan the King. It was nice talking to you.